Y'all, what the fuck is going on in this book?
Unhinged women. Good for her. Gaslight, gatekeep, girl boss.
I've read all of Freida McFadden's books for that. Like, I've read a lot of her books for the most part. I know her formula, bitch. The fuck I do.
Now I'm seeing why the people are like, yeah, this book is better than the first one. Good morning. It is Monday, and yes, I look exactly how I feel. It's about 11:30 in the morning, and I'm just getting out of bed, which is a shock to no one. But I'm going to attempt to do a weekly reading vlog. I attempted to do this a year ago, and clearly I'm not going to release that footage because why would I do that? I'm going to attempt to do this and see what I'm going to read. I have a few options. I kind of want to attempt this year to read more literary fiction and contemporary fiction because I just don't do that a lot. And sometimes, I know I always joke that I'm not an intellectual girly, but sometimes I do want to read something that's like thought-provoking and like will leave me just like, you know, like I took a chance on Any Man and it was one of my best books of the year. I have a couple options. The first one is January's by Olivia Blake, which is a collection of like poetry and short stories and things like that. I saw it in the bookstore the other day and I didn't pick it up because it was like $25 and I was like, your girl's on a budget. But I'm kind of thinking of picking up that maybe on my Kindle. The next one is We Used to Live Here by Marcus Cleaver. That was on a lot of people's best books of the year this past year, and so I kind of want to try that out because it's got like thriller vibes. I also was thinking of The Housemaid by Freida McFadden because it's on my TBR, or Aragon by Christopher Paolini because my husband bought me that for Christmas, and it's a stunning special edition from Crate, and I'm kind of still in my dragon era, so I was thinking about reading that. Then I have I Who Have Never Known Men. That's a book that I've heard is pretty quick. It's like 188 pages, but pretty like dark, and I'm kind of into it. So, and then Fruit of the Dead by Rachel Lyon. I've heard that that's like a Persephone Hades retelling, but like maybe it's Persephone, like not Persephone Hades, it's like Persephone with someone else. And I'm kind of like, I'm here for that. Whatever one I pick, I will try to read. I want to try to make my weekly reading vlogs themed, but because I'm a mood reader, as I've said 1,000 times, and I have ADHD, I can't promise that. So my weekly reading vlogs are going to be very chaotic. I hope you all are here for it. So welcome to the first weekly reading vlog of 2025. Okay, so quick little like midday check-in. It's like 1:30 or something. And I'm sitting here with Hera with the windows open. And y'all, so I picked up I Who Have Never Known Men by Jacqueline Hartman. Y'all, what the fuck is going on in this book? Like, so I read like the little blurb on Goodreads about this, and then I like swiftly forgot what it was about when I started listening to it because I was like making breakfast, and I immediately was like, am I like reading the Diary of Anne Frank right now? Like, it just had such Diary of Anne Frank vibes, and I'm gonna be honest, I haven't read that book since like high school, so that tells you like how much that is stuck in my mind, especially given current events. But anyway, I am intrigued. Like, what is happening? Like, so we're following this girl who is basically captured with 40 other women, and the women are all older than her. Like, this book starts out when she's like a child, is they're trapped in like this cell, and there's 40 of them, and they are guarded day and night, and they aren't sure what they're being guarded for. They are fed, they are clothed, like they're given materials to make food and to clothe themselves and make clothing, but they aren't talked to. They aren't taken anywhere to like be harmed in any way. Like, the guards do have whips where they will like whip them to like, because they're not allowed to touch each other, they're not allowed to run, they're not allowed to like cry, and they have to sleep when they're told. So like the jailers will just like crack a whip to tell them like, hey, stop that, but otherwise they're not harmed. And this girl is talking about how she's basically coming into puberty and she's not getting her period. And like how the women kind of outcast her because they're all older and they all remember life before they were captured, but she doesn't. And they're talking about life before, but you get the sense that like they're not remembering everything and that something is very wrong. It's so fascinating because we're following this girl as she's coming into puberty, figuring out why these women don't like her, why they don't talk to her, why they're in here. And you're following her along as she's basically developing her frontal cortex, and she's discerning things and calculating things and logicking things out herself as she's growing without even need to be told. It's like this fascinating human study. And so I'm sitting here and I'm like, okay, so are they being packaged up in the cell because it's like a study? Are they in danger? Are they going to be used for anything? Because it's not like they're being bred for anything. It's not like Tender is the Flesh. Like, they're not being used or abused. They're just living. And she's like developing this crush on this guard and like telling stories in her head about like how he would like take her away from all this. And she's experiencing an eruption as she's thinking about him. And I'm like, girl, an eruption?
Nice.
I'm gonna say that to my husband later. You want to go experience an eruption? It's just fascinating because we're getting to a point where like things are just not making sense, because I can't tell if this is a dystopian novel, if this is like the Holocaust, because the time period, like when you're listening to these women talk, they're taken from all different walks of life, all different countries. And so we're thinking like, okay, is this an actual event? Like, is this supposed to be like a retelling of an actual event? Like, what is this? Are we even in America? Are we on this planet? So I'm kind of like intrigued. It's only 188 pages, and I think I'm on page, I want to say like 70 or 80. So I'm going to keep reading this. I definitely will finish this today. Maybe I'll finish it by the time my husband gets up. But yeah, I'm having a great damn time.
I've been lying here for too long. I don't know what else to do. I wanna get away from every little thing just to try to make it through. I've been thinking about my options, every detail in my head, but it doesn't really matter, nothing matters, so I cry instead. My breath. I've been trying everything I can, but I ain't got nothing left.
All right, a shower has been had, and I am really enjoying this book. Also, if I look a little, there's deep conditioning in process. My fellow black ladies will understand. I'm going to jump on my walking pad and continue reading until I finish it, because I'm going to finish this book tonight. And yeah, I'll hit you back up when that happens.
I've been lying here for too long. I don't know what else to do. I wanna get away from every little thing just to try to make it through. I've been thinking about my options, every detail in my head, but it doesn't really matter, nothing matters, so I cry instead. I've been running in circles, trying to catch my breath. I've been trying
5 stars. 5 freaking stars. You are joking if you think I was going to rate it anything less. Oh my god. That book was incredible. I think I said at the beginning of this that I am not a intellectual girly, and I'll probably talk about this more in my will I do a wrap up at the end of my week? Y'all, this is so new to me. I don't know what I'm doing. That book talked about so many things and gave us an ending that that was so unfulfilling, but unfulfilling in a way that it couldn't have been anything else. It could not have been anything else. It is a dark, sad, gritty book, and it really focuses on the question of what happens to you as a human when all your base instincts are just stripped away. What do you become when you have never known what it's like to live in society? How do you act as a human when all you've known is isolation? It was crazy. Incredible. 5 stars. 5 freaking stars. Probably going to be on my best books of the year. And that's saying something considering that it is February 3rd. Good morning. It is a very cold and blustery day here in the 100-acre wood. And I need to get ready for work. I did not read anything else last night. I walked on my walking pad for a little bit. I worked on my 4th Fling vlog, and then I went to bed, girlfriend. I went to bed. So I'm gonna go to work, and I need to figure out something to listen to while I'm working because I want to. I have several options, but it's gonna be a matter of, do all of these options have an audio book to accompany them that I can maybe get off of Libby, because your girl's on a budget. But I'm gonna go and I'm gonna get through this day, and I'll see you later.
end of my workday. I'm exhausted. I'm usually exhausted on Tuesdays because Tuesdays is typically my busiest day because I don't work Mondays. So Tuesdays are my Monday. And I have finished a book today. I feel so productive. I did a lot of work and I finished a book. Who is she? I finished My Husband by Maud Ventura. And you will have seen that while at my desk, I filmed myself reading the epilogue, or listening to the epilogue, because
I'm just in shock. I did not see this coming.
what the fuck was happening? Oh my God. 5 stars. 5 fucking stars. Probably now one of my favorites of all time. Best books of 2025. Not even exaggerating. It is February 4th, and I already have 2 best books of the year. I've Never Known Men and now My Husband in one reading vlog. Girl. Yeah, 5 stars. Love that book. So because I'm riding such a high, I'm like, we got to keep up this train here. We got to keep it up. So I was trying to find it physically because I want to own I've Never Known Men and My Husband physically because I want to annotate them so badly. And I kind of want to so My Husband is one of those books where you have to go back and read it, and it's so much like Verity. Like I wish someone had recommended that to me, or if I'd found that after reading Verity, because after coming off that high, and then now this, I'm like, girl, what other books are out there that are like this? I've heard The Housemaid by Frida McFadden is like it, so I'm kind of hoping to dive into that. Okay, so the lighting looks a little different. I literally was on the phone with one of my coworkers for an hour and a half. Now it's 7. It was 5:45 when I got home. It's now 7:11. Anyway, and then I started another book, and I don't know how far in I am. It's called Ripe. I forget who the author is, but I'll put it up on the screen. And it's really interesting. It's not giving me like a thriller vibe. It's kind of giving me, what vibe is it giving me? Horror vibe in a way, but I don't think it's horror. I think it's like a lit fic. It's good. It's all right. It's kind of giving 5-star energy, but then again, I don't know. But anyway, so I stopped on the way home because this book that I'm currently reading, Ripe, probably is going to take me like the rest of tonight, if not just into tomorrow if I decide not to read tonight, because I did just start my period today and I'm cramping much worse than normal, which is so fun with PCOS and endometriosis. But anyway, I wanted to get some books. I'm depressy. My brain is like, ugh, and my body is, ugh. So I bought some books. So I picked up The Housemaid by Frida McFadden because I have been reliably told that this is like Verity. Okay. So I'm like, maybe I'll start this tonight because Ripe is kind of something that I just want to listen to at my desk because I got it off Libby. I don't know a lot about this. I just know that it's about a housemaid and there's like a kid and a wife and a husband type of thing. And there's weird shit happening. So I might actually start this tonight. I don't know. Okay. This was on Kindle Unlimited. So earlier I said I was on a budget, but I am on a budget. But I was like, I really want to hold this book. I really want to hold this. So I picked this up. Then I picked up The Invocations by Crystal Sutherland. And look at this cover. Isn't she fucking stunning? Let me hold her up closer. Isn't she stunning? She's got these pink edges. Normally I don't like pink, but this is a pink and black moment that I just couldn't pass up. This book is about 3 witches. Yeah, are hunting down a supernatural serial killer. I'm like, okay, work. And then I picked up a book that I hope to the goddess I read, and maybe I'm going to have to add it to my TBR to make me read it because it is not a book or an author I would normally read. I've only read 1 book by this author, and I did love it, but I don't really like contemporary romance. So did I buy this cover or this book for the cover and the sprayed edges? Maybe. Deep End by Hallie Hazelwood. I mean, look at this. Look at it. Look at this moment. This is a whole moment right now. The color scheme, these are 2 of my favorite colors. Absolute favorite, diehard colors. I had to, kids. I fucking had to buy this. Like, I picked it up. She feels so stunningly good. I was like, I have to. Have I ever read an Allie Hazelwood in my life? Only Bride, and I loved Bride. But Bride was supernatural. This is about swimmers. Do I know anything about swimmers? No. Do I like swimming? Oh, absolutely. I'm a fantastic swimmer. Do I know anything about it? No. But am I going to hopefully eat this up and it be one of my best books of the year? Goddess, I hope so. I know I was talking about this morning that I didn't want to buy this book because it was $25, but I had to. I fucking had to because I love Olivia Blake. Her writing is so dense, but like, come on. This book is calling to me. I've seen so many people reading this book, and I want to be a part of the vibe. I want to love this book. So I picked up The Januaries by Olivia Blake. It's got stories of love, magic, and betrayal. So yeah, that is my cute little haul. So I'm going to start reading something. I'm still in my work clothes. Okay. I'm still in my office clothes because I ate some dinner while I was talking to my friend, and then, I talked to her for an hour and a half.
Why are you the way that you are?
Just about work things. I'm going to, I'm going to go. I'm going to go do something. I do have a Peloton class tonight that I'm going to participate in. And then I might just walk on my walking pad until I get really tired. I do need to work on my fourth link blog though. Yeah, I have a lot of things I need to do. I might do one of those things. And you're going to see it. You're going to see whatever I decide. But you're not going to know until I decide. And then when I decide to film it. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that amazing how in control I am and how little control you have? So empowering. So fantastic. Anyway, I'll see you in a bit. Good morning. It is Wednesday, and it is the day of the week where I don't have to go in until 11 a.m. We love that for me. I am currently listening to Ripe by Sarah Rose Etter. I can't decide if it's good. I can't decide if I like it or not. It's a book about it's a book about America, basically. It's a book about American capitalism, and to me, almost the idea of the American dream, but how these days no one is living the American dream. We're all poor, we're all depressed, we're all striving, and we're just working until we burn out to prove ourselves, and then we're just never proving ourselves because corporations are a nightmare. But it's following this woman who basically she comes from, I would say, lower middle class, and grew up with these really toxic parents,
And basically, you know, she's just constantly striving. She's fucking doing cocaine to like do long hours. It's just, it's something that like I can't quite understand, but that I can, because though I don't work for a corporation, I am in a managerial position and I am in an office setting, though it's a vet office. Some facets of what this woman is talking about I jive with, because it's like all about production, it's all about quality, it's all about like being expected to take on more things without more pay. It's just like constant disregard for like your own needs and like leaving your heart at the door. Oh, that, oof. Ooh, they're talking about a virus in this book, and I think what they're talking about is COVID-19. And I'm not sure yet because it's not named, but because I just got to a part where a woman was like, well, what happened to Ebola? Like, that just disappeared. I think they're talking about COVID-19. There's a lot of references to like a black hole in the galaxies and pomegranates. I think what the author's trying to go for, she's trying to allude to the fact that the black hole is depression and anxiety. And then she's trying to allude to like pomegranates as like bodies, because like honestly, if you've ever opened up a pomegranate, it looks like intestines. So it's like she's trying to really make some powerful prose here, and it's just not working. But I am like enjoying it. But why am I enjoying it? Anyway, it's not dense in the way that like I don't understand what's going on, but it's dense in the way that like if I'm not paying attention, I'm not gonna like get some of the subtler hints. So I'm gonna go maybe pick something else to listen to while I'm at work, and then maybe pick this up when I get back home. But whatever I decide, I'll see you later.
Hello, my darlings. It is the end to my Wednesday, and oh my goddess, what a Wednesday it was. It is torrentially downpouring outside, which is why my hair is doing this cray-cray thing. But yeah, it was a pretty insane Wednesday. Usually Wednesdays are like days for a staff meeting. We have a staff meeting every Wednesday. Today was all well and good, and then I had to fire somebody. So,
and
yeah. So because of that, I did not, sorry, I'm looking at what my boss is messaging me because it's literally been that type of day. So I did not listen to anything. I did not read anything at my desk. I literally was like in full on work mode, which is what I'm paid to do. But like, I just couldn't spare the time. So I have a little bit of a headache, and I just and I'm like cramping a little bit. I kind of just want to like curl up and go to sleep in bed and eat some like greasy food. So I might not read anything tonight. I'm a little sad about it, but that's okay. I am gonna go do that. I might walk on my walking pad because I've heard that's good when you're on your period. I don't know. Anyway, I just wanted to give you a little update and let you know that I didn't do jack shit today. Except I really did though. Anyway, I'll see you later. Okay, so update. I just finished Ripe by Sarah Rose Etter.
I really can't handle another time like this.
This is a dark time.
Whew. Critically, this book was 5 stars. And I feel like I'm gonna give it 5 stars on Goodreads, but just know that in my heart of hearts, this book is only 3 stars. And the reason I'm giving it 5 stars and not 3 is because, or well, giving it 3 stars in my head and not 5 is because it was really boring. It was really boring. And you would be like, Julia, then why the fuck are you rating it 5 stars? Because the subject matter itself is 5 stars. It's talking about corporate America, okay? It's talking about capitalism. It's talking about the virus incoming, which I am pretty sure is COVID-19, even though it never says, or at least if it did, I missed it. It's following this woman named Cassie, who is a part of corporate America. She is living in, it begins on one side of the United States, and she's living in an apartment she can't afford. She's trying to strive as a single woman, getting a career and excelling in that career field, and basically just fucking trying to survive. And then she's offered a promotion where they're going to double her salary, but she has to move across the country. And one of the lines that really sticks out to me is that her boss is like, or Cassie says, well, can I think about it? And her boss is like, think about it. What do you mean? We're doubling your salary. And she's like, well, like, I just want to think about it because even though you're doubling my salary, like, I'm gonna have to move and that's just a lot. And she's like, well, I guess so, Cassie, but I was really hoping you would just say yes. And like, we'd be able to like wrap this all up and like, you know, get a move on. Like the head honcho calls and is like, yeah, Cassie, I really was like wanting an answer like today. Like, I need you to like tell me. And it's just one of these ideas of like, corporate America gives no fucks about you. Okay. You are a number on a spreadsheet among millions of spreadsheets. Okay. And it's a fascinating like discussion about what it is like to live like this and what it is like to constantly have to kill yourself, get any higher up on the corporate ladder to just be able to fucking feed yourself. And here's the thing. It's also a study of, will you ever find joy from this? Will you ever get to a point where you can stop striving and you can just find joy? And it's that question that we always ask ourselves of like, at what point can I stop being like, oh, after I get this raise, oh, after I get this promotion, oh, after I finish this project, oh, after I do this, I will be able to. If any one of you has ever followed Catherine Zenkina, she is the creator of the Manifestation Babe Academy. And I have said this a million times. I'm a big proponent of manifestation. And I was so lucky and so blessed to get a scholarship to the Manifestation Babe Academy this past October. One of the things that Catherine teaches is that you can create whatever fucking life you want as long as you get out of your own way. But you have to learn that you can't just keep wishing for that next thing, and you can't just keep waiting for that moment where things are calm to take a chance and to find whatever you're looking for. It's just that mantra that any life coach honestly can teach you of like, don't just wait till Monday. Don't wait till the new year. Do it now. It's this fascinating study of, number one, being told all your life that you will never amount to anything great and like you're just going to be a part of the humdrum no matter what. Actually, there's a quote about that. Isn't that always the way adult life begins? You think you'll become something different, something new. At first, you swim violently against the tide, your body straining until your muscles give out, until you can't push any harder, until you stop fighting and float, letting the water take you back to shore, where the rest of the world is already at the office, typing on their computers beneath buzzing fluorescent lights, toiling away in the glare of permanent productive daylight. The book is fascinating. It really is, because it talks about every point that I have argued and fought against my entire life, because I don't believe that we're just made to be a number. I believe that every single one of us has the ability to take a piece of the universe, take a piece, but share it in the universe, because it's an endless flow. You know what I'm saying? I know I'm getting all like woo-woo here, but this is like truly what I feel. It's fascinating, the subject matter, but the way that it's written, okay? It's trying to be a Livy Blake. It's trying to be Amber Tamlin. It's trying to be so many things. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's not taking the cake. So yeah, that's my Wednesday. My headache is kind of gone. I was actually really tired there for a minute. And now after finishing this book, I have some energy. So, okay, I want to pick up January's by Olivia Blake, but I know I'm going to want to annotate that. And I don't want to take all my annotation supplies into the bedroom with me right now. So I could start The Housemaid. Because I don't really have anything else. Well, besides Aragon. And I do want to start Aragon, but again, like, I don't have that on my Kindle, so I have to take that into bed with me, and I kind of do need to be going to bed because I got to be up early. I'm going to go to bed. And if I do pick up a book between now and sleeping, I will, I'll let you know in the morning. Sleep tight. Good morning, my darlings. It is Thursday, and couldn't tell it's morning because it looks like the dreariest level of hell outside, but it is morning. So I am off to work. I'm leaving just a tad earlier than normal because I have to take Tallulah with me because she has been having seizures for the past couple months, and this is just her recheck, which she has not been having that many, so that is good. I did not read anything last night after finishing Ripe because I was dead. So my plan is to find an audiobook to listen to at my desk today, maybe The Housemaid, maybe something else. I don't know. I kind of surprised myself with my husband. So, and that book was good. So yeah, that is the tea in the shade. Hopefully today goes better than yesterday. I'll see you later.
You tricked me into telling them something I shouldn't. Good luck with that. The cop with the black hair threaded with gray is sitting on the sofa next to me. He shifts his stocky frame on the burnt caramel Italian leather. I wonder what sort of sofa he has at home.
My darlings, I'm home from work on this beautiful Thursday. It is a beautiful Thursday. So, I have finished The Housemaid by Frida McFadden. Yes, I finally, after saying I was going to read it, have finally read it. And upon reflection, I just realized that I have read 3 books that were on my TBR this year. Is that right? 3 books. I'm doing good, fam. I'm doing real good. Anyway, I have not rated a single book this week under 5 stars. Who the fuck is she? Like, we're gonna have to roll back the clip when I get to a week where I literally have nothing but duds and turds. But like, what? And here's the funny thing. I have not read a Frida McFadden book since Never Lie. And whoo, y'all know my feelings on that. Y'all know. Why did no one tell me about this book sooner? This is right up there with My Husband and Verity because it is the delicious trash that I am looking for. Like, I love, okay, my favorite thriller is a domestic thriller, meaning it has to be, I don't know if that's the real term, but that's the term I'm calling it, where it's like family-based, okay? It's like the family's got secrets, you know what I'm saying? It's like they've got some deep-rooted fucking issues, and there's some little interloper coming in, and they're figuring out those issues, and you have no idea who to fuck to trust. This book is just Verity if Verity was not in a coma. And it's like, but with a twist. God damn. I'm actually about to start the second one because I think I knew it was a trilogy and there's also a novella and I'm like, how can there be more? So I'm kind of like, is it going to be as good as the first one? Like, I almost don't want to read the second one because I want to live on this housemaid high. But because I just know that Frida McFadden just loves to throw like crazy, ridiculous plot twists at you, I'm like, okay, I'm here for it. I have nothing else. I got time. I got nothing else I'm doing. You know, I'm free tonight. I'm going to go walk on my walking pad, read this book, and then I need to work on this vlog, and I need to work on my Fourth Wing vlog. So that is the tea and the shade. So I'm going to go do that, and I will catch up with you guys later. Did this book just go Gone Girl on me? Remember when I said that, like,
Oh, I've read all of Freida McFadden's books for that. Like, I've read a lot of her books for the most part. I know her formula, bitch. The fuck I do.
now I'm seeing why the people are like, yeah, this book is better than the first one. I'm not even joking you. When I'm only 61% of the way through this book. And I literally was like 2 chapters ago, I was like, how the fuck is there still more book left? Oh, I know how. I know how. I know I'm not saying words right now, but I just want you to know the gravity of which I am sitting here shook. Because I'm gonna be honest. So earlier I was on Goodreads and I was looking at reviews and I saw a review that was like, I guess it wasn't technically spoilers, but someone said something that was like, oh, I knew that this person was like blah, blah, blah. And I was like, what? But it wasn't marked as spoiler. So I was just kind of like, oh, okay, that's weird. So it's been in the back of my head this whole time. So I kind of feel like I knew like something was wrong and amiss. And then it was kind of confirmed. But now I'm like, wait, but was it? Because again, I know I'm not saying actual words, but I just need you to understand that though her books are not going to win like a Pulitzer Prize or anything, they leave me gooped and gagged every fucking time. I finished it. Oh my God. Oh my God, you guys. Okay, here's the thing. I finished it and I want to rate it 5 stars, but here's the thing. Is it dumb of me to think like, oh my God, Julia, you've rated every book you've read this week 5 fucking stars. Like, you need to be more critical. So like, technically I gave Ripe 3 stars, but I put 5 stars on Goodreads. So maybe I haven't given every book that I read 5 stars, but come on. I don't know. Some people in the comments are going to be like, Julia, those books are so fucking mediocre. Like, get a grip, girl. Listen. I was gripped, okay? I have a grip. I was gripped like a vise, okay? It does not... This sounds so horrible. It doesn't take much with me, guys, okay? It does not take much for me to be, like, just shocked. It doesn't take much for me to be like, you know? Like, I'm an easy bitch, okay? I'm easy. Shit that normal people are like, oh my God, I saw that coming from like 4 miles away. Like, bitch, I'm like, did you? Because I didn't see it until you're like, hey, our stop's here. Genuinely, maybe this is because I read so fast and I don't want to blame it on ADHD. I really don't. But I think it has something to do with the fact that I do read so quickly and I don't always comprehend what I'm reading. And if I notice that I'm doing it, I will go back and read sections. But sometimes I'm just flying through like, you know, in the moment. You know what I mean? Is anyone else like that? Does anyone else feel like they just don't always comprehend what they're reading? Like, it's so funny. I always used to joke that like in school, my reading scores, my English scores that was my best subject, right? But thinking back on it, I actually think my reading speed was flawless, but my reading comprehension, I actually think was pretty poor. When I read a thriller, I'm not thinking too deeply about like, is this plausible? Does this make sense? Do these like legal proceedings make sense? Because I don't always know that either. But you know, like, I guess I just don't really read that critically. I like to read to get lost. And I know in this day and age, a lot of people hate that because they're like, Julia, there's a lot of like meaningful shit in books and like reading is inherently political. You know, listen, I get you. Okay. I understand. Okay. Read for that. I read for the fun of it and I read to get lost. And I'm sorry if that offends anyone. I don't know why it would. I guess I'm not really sorry, but I guess what am I even trying to say? I just feel weird about giving all these books 5 stars. That's what I'm trying to say. Sometimes I hate living in my own brain. But anyway, I think I am going to give this 5 stars. And I do agree with people that I think that this book was better than the first one. In some aspects, I really like the first one. I'm scared about the third one because I've heard it's not the greatest. Like, it's almost like 1 and 2, okay, cool. But like a third and a novella, girl, Frida McFadden was just milking the money. I'm going to try to go to bed though. I'm hyped though. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it. I told my husband, I was like, hey, if you're at Wally World tomorrow morning, find me the second and the third book if possible. Why am I like this? Anyway, I'm going to go. I will see you guys tomorrow. And if I do pick up the third book tomorrow, I'll probably finish it by tomorrow. And then that'll be the week, guys. What a productive week for me. I'm so proud of myself, legitimately. What a glorious time. Hello, my darlings. It is Friday, the last day of my work week. Oh my gosh, so much has happened this week, and I've been so productive at this week all at the same time. The rules of today are, to myself, not to you, that this is the last day of the reading vlog, which means anything that I finish by the end of work today is it. And I'm gonna be honest with you, so I started The Housemaid is Watching last night, the 3rd book in the Housemaid series. I didn't like it. I didn't even finish it. I am DNFing that book for now because that book, I see what a lot of people are saying, that like Frida she just needed some quick cash. You know what I'm saying? Because it didn't need to be that. We didn't need that book. It didn't need to be that way. I will eventually go back and read it because I just want the conclusion, but I'm gonna be honest with you, I already wasn't feeling it by like page 1. There is an ongoing romance in the book, and I know a lot of people are like, oh my god, it's a thriller, why is there romance? That doesn't bother me personally. I honestly feel like in thrillers, if they're standalone, if there ends up being like a romance, it's kind of like a nice put a bow on top of like some horrible shit that might be happening. So that's never really bothered me. I think what's bothering me is that the romance has never made sense from the beginning. Frida initially like had this romance going a completely different direction, and now it's gone the opposite, and I'm like, really? Okay. I'm gonna be honest with you, like no spoilers necessarily, but there's at least there's an 11-year time jump between book 2 and book 3. If you don't count the novella that's like somewhere in the middle of those 2 books. But I will go back and read it, just not right now. The good news is I have a full day of like kind of busy work ahead of me. I've got a whole day of paperwork, and I shouldn't have to do anything too involved
So I have the whole day to sit and listen to an audiobook while I'm working. And I'm trying to think if I want to listen to They Never Learn by Lane Fargo or A Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires by Grady Hendrix. I probably won't even listen to those. I'll probably pick something different because of course I will. But those are my options because I did get them from Libby and my time on them is like 5 days left. So I need to like get those listened to. I'm gonna go. And I will see you when I get home.
Simon & Schuster Audio presents They Never Learn by Lane Fargo. Read by Lamise Isaac and Eileen Stevens.
1. Scarlet. I'll know it's working when he starts to scream.
Oh my God, you guys, I just went on the craziest journey ever. Holy guac. Okay, so for context sake, I did actually start They Never Learn by Lane Fargo. And whoo, baby. Okay, so I had a very interesting day at work today. Like, kept getting interrupted constantly. So I was listening to the audiobook, but I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't listening to it fully, okay? And so at one point, I get to the part, I got to like chapter 30, I wanna say. I got to chapter 30. And if you've read this book, you know the part that I'm probably coming up on. But I literally, a reveal happened and I was like, wait, huh? Wait, huh? Wait, huh? And I was like, no, hold up, back up. And I sat there for a minute and I was like, wait, but does that make sense? And then, like, because I was trying to figure out, like, wait a minute, am I just fucking dumb? Which the answer usually to that question is yes. There was like this huge reveal and I fucking missed it because I wasn't paying that close of attention. So when I tell you that I immediately Googled this book physically, because I'm going to go home and start this entire book over again. And I'm not even shitting on starting from chapter 1 and I'm reading until I can't read anymore. Hopefully I can just go home, jump on my walking pad and read. Now, the funny thing about this book edition, though, is that it was like $8 at like this grocery store that's like 30 minutes away from me. So yeah, I drove basically 30 minutes out off the path of my way home to get this book. And it's like one of those travel edition books, so it's quite small. Like it's almost like someone took the real book and just cut it in half. But I don't care. I don't fucking care. I want this book so I can annotate in it. I want this book so I can hold it physically. I want this book so I can fucking reread it and pick up on what's happening, because when I tell you that this reveal makes this a completely different book, I'm not even shitting you. So yeah, I'm gonna go home and do those things. And I will catch you guys later. You guys, this is so fucked up. Like, beyond fucked up. Like, this is the shit of nightmares. This is the shit that, like, we talk about, and we talk about, and we talk about, but, like, nothing is ever done. What am I talking about? I'm talking about the fact, like, without any spoilers, I'm talking about the fact that we teach the youth of America, right? We preach and preach and preach and preach and preach that if you ever feel unsafe, if anyone ever touches you without your permission, if anyone ever harms you, that you go to an authority figure, an adult figure. We fucking say it until we're blue in the face. And what happens? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. We get asked, what were you wearing? How were you acting? Were you drunk? Like, any of that fucking matters when it comes to rapists. I feel like people forget. Like, just watch one simple episode of Criminal Minds. Watch one simple episode of fucking SVU. And it will tell you that rapists do not rape based off of how fucking pretty you are. No. It's about dominance and power and control. But we just seem to think that, like, oh, her ankles were showing and it just drove him wild and he couldn't resist. It's fucking disgusting. It's fucking disgusting. And just to read about teenage girls having to go through this and having to go to, like, an adult figure. Whoo, baby. I am disgusted. My darlings, my treasures, my Tallulah Jean, how are you today? Mwah. We need to talk. I don't normally do, like, sit-down wrap-ups of the books that I read, but we need to talk about Little Miss They Never Learn. I wanted to sit down and talk about They Never Learn because this book could have a thesis written about it and not cover the majesty of its pages. I really want to drive this point home that if you ever feel unsafe, if you have ever been harmed, assaulted, touched against your will, if you ever feel threatened, you need to tell somebody. I don't care who it is, find someone, tell them. And if they do not listen to you, you find someone else. We live in a society that is all about talking about women's rights and we need to do better and we need to be all we can be and we need to protect ourselves and we need to lift each other up and empower one another. But it never happened. It doesn't just happen in colleges. It happens in workplaces. It happens at cafes. It happens on the street. It happens in homes. If you ever feel like you are in danger, that you're going to be harmed, you run and you find somebody. Or you know those memes that go around where it's like, if you ever see a woman in a store and some guy's like bothering her, like go up and act like her friend. Seriously, do that. I don't care if you think it's weird. I don't care if that woman's like, oh, I know that man. I don't care, okay? We don't let each other be preyed upon. We do not let one another be hunted. I don't know why this is like touching me so deeply, but this book, I'm not going to say it triggered me because I am not upset, but I do think that it inspired me and it like ignited me because this book talks about sexual assault and it talks about sexual predation so well that it's terrifying. I'm not exaggerating when I say that this book is more than just a thriller. This book talks about girls on a college campus who are preyed upon by not just their peers, but also the faculty, their professors, the people they are supposed to be learning from and looking up to are also preying upon them. When women go out, depending on what they wear, how they're acting, if they're flirting or not, depends on whether or not they deserve to be hunted and preyed upon. And that's just not fucking okay. This book is 5 stars. Without saying, I loved this. I loved it so much that I went out and reread it from the beginning. And I want to go and annotate it, but I was so gripped by the story that I couldn't even pause to put an annotation tab. So I'm definitely going to have to go through and do that. And I'm not even mad that I got this like little dinky pocket version because honestly, this little dinky pocket version is going to become my Bible. And I feel like that it's a discredit to this book to say that like, oh, it's just like, it's feminism, but with a serial killer twist. No, it's just being a woman in this society. That's what it is. That's what it boils down to. This book is just being a woman and being a woman who takes action and fights back. This book also is just such, like, if you've read Education in Malice or The Housemaid by, you will like eat up this book. This is literally, I kept thinking about throughout the whole book, I was like, oh my God, this is such like Education in Malice vibes, but like at a serial killer. And then it also had vibes near the end, definitely in the end several chapters of The Housemaid by Frida McFadden, which I just finished this week. And I'm just like, damn, I'm like on a trend. It's like unhinged women. Maybe that'll be the theme for this week. Remember how in the beginning of the week I was like, what's the theme of these books? Unhinged women. Unhinged women. Good for her. Gaslight, gatekeep, girl boss. That literally is it. Oh my God. Hi. Hello, my treasures. It is that time of the video where I sit down and I talk about what I read this week a little bit more in depth and just kind of give you my final thoughts on everything, even though this video is probably already exponentially long. But let's get into it. So I started out this week on Monday reading I Who Have Never Known Men by Jacqueline Hartman. And of course, as you saw, I rated it 5 stars. I absolutely love that book, and it definitely is going on my best books of the year. It's such a dark and gritty good time, and it also just really asks a lot of amazing questions about, you know, what would we be like if we had never known men, if we had never known anything about society, and if we always lived our life in isolation. And it's just fascinating. I highly recommend that you read it. Couldn't get enough of it. And though it had like an unfulfilling ending, it couldn't have ended any other way. The next book that I read on Tuesday was a book that I actually did buy physically, so I can annotate that, and that is My Husband by Mon Ventura. I loved this book so much, and I wish that I had found this book after reading Verity, because it was definitely like kind of the Verity vibes that I was looking for afterward. It was so well done, and that ending. Oh, I also, how dare this woman be a Virgo, because I'm a Virgo, and I was looking at myself like there were too many similarities, and I was like, ooh, yeah, that's not good. But yes, I rated this 5 stars. And again, this is probably going to go on my best books of the year because it was such an amazing ride. I had such a good time. The writing was exquisite, and I just still am thinking about that ending. The next book that I read was Ripe by Sarah Rose Etter, which was over a combination of Tuesday and Wednesday, I believe. I did end up giving this book 5 stars on Goodreads, but just know that critically, I think that the book is 3 stars. It was just kind of boring, and the prose was not as well-rounded and good as it could have been, but I do believe that the subject matter, discussing about corporate America and the incoming pandemic, and just trying to strive up the ladder and living this American dream that's long past now. You know, I don't think anyone is living the American dream right now. I think discussions of that nature are inherently really amazing and fascinating, and the book does delve into some fascinating concepts, but again, I just felt like that it was trying really hard to be something fantastical, and it was really bogged down with discussions of a black hole and pomegranates. Oh, and let's not forget pregnancy. And then after that, I picked up The Housemaid by Frida McFadden over, I think, Wednesday and Thursday and a little bit of Friday. And then I also picked up The Housemaid's Secret by Frida McFadden. And I did read both of these and give them both 5 stars. I also read the novella. The novella, I would say, was a 3-star read, and then I currently am diving into book 3, but talking about these are fantastic. They also had Verity and My Husband vibes that I loved so much, and they were such a good ride. Frida McFadden is such a hit or miss author for me, but she does know what she's doing with these, and I love them a lot, so yes, 5 stars, highly recommend. And then the last book of the week that I read that you will have seen last, of course, was They Never Learn by Lane Fargo. This book probably, if this book is not my best book of the year, then something is seriously wrong with me, or I have found another masterpiece from now until the end of the year, because this book was fantastic. And this book is more than just a thriller. I think it's a dishonor to say that it's just a feminist serial killer book. No, it is definitely so much more than that. The discussions of sexual assault and sexual predation upon women is fantastic, and it's not talked about enough. And I feel like that this book really highlights how it's not always your peers. It also can be the people that you're supposed to be looking up to and learning from, you know, faculty of this college were preying on women. And I loved it. Also, the twist in the middle of this book, This book I had to go buy physically, you saw, just because it was so amazing. So I highly recommend this. 5 stars, of course. And yeah, best book of the year. So yes, that is all the books that I read this week. I read 7 books in 5 days. Who is she, guys? Who is she? So I am very, very excited. There'll probably never be a week where I rate every single book 5 stars again, because typically I'm more critical with my ratings, but there you have it. So thank you so much for being here with me on this journey, on this reading vlog of a week, for my first reading vlog of 2025 and my first reading vlog ever, weekly reading vlog, I should say. It was a really fun time and I had a lot of fun editing this video. So if you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. Please share it with your friends. Add it to your favorites. Is that even still a thing? I really, really would appreciate it. And if you want to see more videos from me, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I'll be here all week, baby. I love you guys. Mwah. Bye.